Oh, huh. Everybody talk about Vasilevsky. Vasilevsky, huh? He's the best goalie, huh? That's what they say. I am the Bubba. You may not know me. I am Bubba. Nobody is better than Bubba. I am unbubblicious.
The Florida Panthers have won the Stanley Cup.
Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go! Go!
Puck drop. And 3, 2, 1.
Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go! Go!
All right, Panther fans, game 2, Florida, Tampa. Here we go, here we go. What I always say in these series is game 1 doesn't mean anything until after game 2, because obviously the difference between a 1-1 series and 2-0 series is almost everything. I think the stat is about 85% of the time team that goes up 2-0 wins. I would suspect that might even be higher for a team that goes up 2-0 on the road. Now, what do I expect out of this game? What I expected out of game 1. Honestly, I don't think nobody saw what happened. I can't talk. Nobody saw what happened in game 1 coming for the most part. There was a couple of people that kind of thought that might happen that came visiting to my noon stream. But past that, you have to expect Vasilevsky's going to be back on his game. Tampa's going to be back on this game. They're going to be hitting. They're going to be physical. They're going to be engaged. They're going to not leave Kachuk alone in front of the net so he can do a little dance, make a little love in front of Vasilevsky. You have to figure they're going to make some adjustments, and that's John Cooper. So, what does Florida need to do? Again, same thing as game 1. Keep it cool in the first period. Tampa's going to come out. They'll have their energy. I'd be shocked again if we didn't, if Tampa didn't get the first goal. Just keep it within no more than 2, like 2 max. Okay? That's it. That's what I said last time, and you see what happened. So don't ask me. Now, Cirelli is a game-time decision. All the lines are the same for the Panthers, and the debate among the Panther fans is, what are we going to do with Aaron Ekblad when he comes back? Should we be up 2-0? We'll discuss that at the end of this video. We'll see how this goes. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. It was just one game. It was a great game. It was just one game. We need 4 tonight. Let's get 2. Okay, so same thing as last game. Panthers have a one goal lead in the first period. Yesterday was 2-1. The last game was 2-1. Now it's 1-0. Nate Schmidt, Barkov's in the circle. I said, hey, right back to Schmidt. So he went to Reinhart, who got it over to Schmidt, who one times it past Vasilevsky for a 1-0 lead. And since then, it has been crickets. We've had some chances. They've had a few chances. But this is the quintessential Paul Maurice. Just waste every possible second. Clear the puck, clear the puck, clear the puck. Forecheck, back check. They're playing tight. And the referees here at the end of the first period trying to get Tampa engaged a little bit, called one of the weakest holding the stick penalties I think I've ever seen. And that includes the regular season, let alone for the postseason. So we got about a buck and a half left of power play to kill off here at the start of the second period. Still what? Nothing. It's still a close game. Tampa is going to wake up, right? Right? Let's move on to second period. Okay. That's better. It's still 1-0 after 2. Not worried. I'm not nervous. There's no stress. There's no anxiety. I'm sure that nothing could possibly happen in the third period that would get my heart rate going. We Panthers have a power play here towards the end of the second period. Carries over for about a minute in the start of the third. Now, what's interesting about it is that they got Gensel for roughing. I don't know where that came from. However, on the replay, while we're looking for the roughing that Gensel committed, you see Point whack Barkov in the head with his stick. So they missed the high stick, and I guess instead of taking Point off the ice, they just gave an invisible penalty. I guess it is what it is. It's 1-0. Shots are tied, 16-16. Now, Tampa's had some zone time. They are definitely controlling the puck, but we are kind of just allowing them to keep the shots to the outside and everything. Panthers have had their chances. Brad Marchand, would you please shoot the puck? Please, buddy. I know you want to just shoot the puck. And I think was Lundell trying to get it to loose to Ryan as well. A few too many passes. All right? Samoskevich showed you how to do it. Come down, take the shot. There was a rebound in front. There was chaos. We almost got a goal. In a game like this, you're only going to get so many chances. Series hangs in the balance here in some respects in this period here, because you go up 2-0 like we talked about. It's an entirely different planet than 1-0. So 1-1. You know what I'm trying to say? The score is 1-1. I want this series to be 2-0. Not nervous. Okay, 1, 2, and that's 2-0. That's 2. That's 2. Now, before we even get started, I'm confident the puppets. Bubba told me Barkov is fine. We'll put it that way. Obviously, with the hit to the head, they were going to check him for a concussion. At that point, there's a minimum amount of time he would have had to stay out of the game anyway. I believe it's 10 minutes of game time, or actually a half hour or 20 minutes of actually real time. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I think it's 10 minutes. The point being is that I'm not concerned that he didn't come back, because I think even if he was okay to come back, they would have just held him out anyway because Anton Lundell. So, Bubbalicious. Wait, Bubba. Yeah. Not that he had a lot of work to do. Again, Kyle's yelling Brady Tkachuk just scored. Does that mean the game is tied?
The game is tied.
All right, I'll be in there in a minute. It's live TV. What do you want? So, let's get to what we saw on the ice. Tkachuk is definitely not. He's not. He's healthy-ish, kinda. He's out there. He's giving us what he got. I wouldn't be surprised to see an occasionally missed game by him. Or, I'm happy he's healthy enough to play, but I don't know how he's going to make it through 4 series on what he's got for legs right now. Now, the good news is that Nate Schmidt is our playoff leading scorer so far. He's got the game-winning goal tonight. I believe he had the game-winning goal also in game 1, so I would assume he's going to get the puck tonight, right? We're just putting on an absolute Paul Maurice masterclass. I mean, whatever energy that we have, if we have this much energy to go all the way to the finals, we're going to win the cup again. That's going to be what's going to be the deciding point, because the way that we're playing our system right now is Tampa can't take a breath from the time they get the puck on their stick, they don't have enough time to take a breath before there's a Panther on them. I mean, we're just giving them no time and no space, and it's just an absolute masterclass in what Paul Maurice's system is. So, and we've just got guys all over the ice buying into this system. It's just a well-oiled, perfectly functioning machine right now. And you saw that when Barkov went out. You just put Lundell up there, and it's like, oh, you tried to take out the captain, huh? It's like, we got guys. You know what I mean? We got guys. Barkov's going to be fine, but if he misses a game, I think we're good. It's 2-0 in this series. Like I said before the game, that's about an 85-86% chance that we're going to win this series. And what I say after game one, I said shorten each series. Okay? Win the games that you need to win. Tonight was another one of those games. I said it. So you get a big lead, keep adding to it, put that game away. You got a close one, we have to play perfect. Put that game away. We've done it twice now. Now, I'm not saying we're going to sweep, but we could possibly win all four. We've got 2 at home coming up. And the first 2 games so far, at no point has Tampa, quote, turned it on the way I've expected them to. I don't know exactly what's going on. To me, I kind of get the feeling that Cooper is so calm and so cool and so collective that the rest of the team is just following suit. And I'm not seeing at any point in time Tampa just like raising their level of energy and playing, going, hey, let's have some desperation here. I'm just not seeing it at all. Now, in terms of the Panthers on the ice, like I said, Barkov's going to be fine, I believe. I don't know exactly. They were mixing and matching some lines. There was a lot of different line combinations because Tkachuk is taking short shifts. So I believe I saw Boquist out there at one point with Bennett. I think I saw Rodriguez out there. I don't know if I saw Tkachuk on the 4th line with Rodriguez. It's hard to tell because we're just like throwing guys out there. There basically were no lines in that second and third period, especially once Barkov went out. It's just like who can breathe? Who's not breathing too heavy? Get out there on the ice and win the game. The third line, Lundell, Luosterainen, and Marchand. Now, they're not scoring. Boy, Marchand is trying. He gave Luosterainen another beautiful drop pass here in the third period. And Luosterainen is just not quite Connor McDavid. Not quite. It's close, but not quite. If he could just score on one of the 10 chances he gets, we'd be winning these games 5-0. But third line is just putting on an absolute beast of a show because I don't know what the minutes were tonight, but the minutes for the second line in game one weren't all that high because of Tkachuk. And tonight, I wouldn't be surprised if he even had less ice time. So like I said, I wouldn't be surprised and I wouldn't be against if, hey, look, you know what? I played a couple of games. I know he's going to want to play game 3 because it's the first game, right, at home. But if we get up 3-0, I wouldn't mind seeing him sit and just let things settle down a little bit because he was nowhere near, in my opinion, as active tonight as he was last night. But that could just be my imagination. And the fourth line is just beautiful. And I know we're not getting goals, right? But it's just every player on the ice, all the forwards, they're just like, remember when you go to the ice skating rink or the roller skating rink and it was all skate and you would just skate in a circle and a circle? I mean, the forwards, they're just going back and forth and they're just skating Tampa to death. In terms of the defense, now, we have just finished winning both games in Tampa. We've allowed 2 goals in 2 games. We shut down their power play tonight, including the last couple of minutes with the empty net. Now, Aaron Ekblad is eligible to come back from suspension. Now, the craziest thing in the world is to think that you would not throw the guy that was on your top pair all year, the guy that was in the top pair when you won the cup last year. It'd be crazy to think don't throw him back out on the ice. However, we've allowed 2 goals in 2 games, and we just pitched a shutout. Now, just because he's Ekblad, does that mean we blow up the pairs and throw him out there and change what we've got going on? I don't know. If I'm Paul Maurice right now, and I'm not, right? Because he has more hair than me. But if I'm Maurice right now, I am really heavily considering going, I don't. Aaron, I love you, but we just pitched a shutout on the road against Tampa and take a 2-0 series lead. It's not the time to go messing around with lineup changes. And I don't think he can take Barkov's spot. So, an interesting thought would be if you wanted to get Ekblad on the ice, if Barkov is out, you could go 11-7. Go 11-7. But that would still kind of be foolish because we've got a whole good fourth line on the bench. So forget I said that. The point is that I don't think you're going to want to... He's probably going to end up back in the lineup, right? I suppose if you're going to put him back in, certainly don't do anything but take Balinskis off the ice and put him on the bottom pair with Schmidt. I would be really, really disappointed if he just blew up all the pairs and you put Ekblad back with Forsling and Jones with Mikkola and move Kulikov down with Schmidt. I don't mind those two bottom pairs, but at the same time, we just shut him out. I mean, like, Tampa's getting nothing. Bubba's played 2 games, maybe. Between the 2 games, maybe there's been 5 saves. We're like, whoa, Bubba saved us. I mean, they're not even really getting high-quality danger chances. That's my opinion. I'm curious about yours. This is not about me hating Ekblad or thinking he's terrible or anything. It's just a matter of 2 goals in 2 games. That's not when you change. So we'll have to see how that goes. The rest of the way, we play Saturday 1, and then we're back to like a normal time. I think Monday's 7:30. Now, what do we expect from Tampa here? Because I've expected them to play a certain way in Game 1, and they did not. Now, they were better, obviously, tonight defensively, and it's got to piss off Vasilevsky that the only goal that was let in was kind of a weak one. Yeah, he was screened a little bit, but I'm sure he's not pleased. But back to what I was saying, defensively, we're just smothering them. I don't know what you can do, Tampa. I don't know what they can do, right? If the Panthers are going to play that style and just have a guy on you and have a guy on you, you have to just be able to take advantage of the opportunities that you get. Now, Tampa's not getting any puck luck either, right? You saw it right here at the end of the 3rd period. Puck came out, was bouncing. I believe it was Point that was in front. I forget who it was. One of those schmucks. Anyway, the puck just bounced over his stick. It was an empty net. He would have been able to tie the game with, 30 seconds left or whatever it is. So there is a small modicum there of puck luck that Tampa's not getting, but they're just not getting enough chances to really generate that luck. So I don't really know what Tampa can do. Cirelli was out there tonight. He looked okay. I mean, even these guys are hurt. If they can either play or they can't. It's rare that you see a guy on the ice with Tkachuk like he is right now, where you're like, he's playing, he's not hurting us, but you can tell, right? You can tell that he's just not quite himself, and there's some way, it's not costing us. He got the 2 goals the other night, so we're good, but I wouldn't mind, if he needed to sit for a game, I wouldn't cry about it. I wouldn't be surprised either, but the flip side to that is, if we can win both games at home, okay, if we could win on Saturday and win on Monday, round 2 is not starting, okay, until, round 1 is over with all the teams, right? So if we can do that, if we can knock that out, okay, we could see us get another 4 or 5 days of rest, and I'm sure that would be beautiful for Tkachuk, or at least it'd be 3 or 4 days of rest, right? If Game 4 is Monday, Game 5 would be Wednesday. So the first round wouldn't even be over until the weekend. So it's an opportunity. And then we'll just have to see what happens with Barkov. My assumption is Paul Maurice is telling everybody right now he's okay. He looked a little bit dazed, right? But he got up, and when he went to the locker room, it wasn't like people were holding him. He kind of looked around. He looked like he was okay. So I would assume that he's going to be fine. That's a big man. In terms of the hit, I know people think it was dirty and everything like that. It was a 5-minute. No doubt. It was a 5-minute. I always like to give guys the benefit of the doubt. I always find it difficult to believe somebody's actually out there trying to like knock somebody in the head like that. It was a purposeful hit. Let's put it that way. He got him up under the chin, right? Basically, from what I could tell. Do I think guys are out there purposely trying to hurt somebody? Maybe. It's the playoffs. You know what it is. You know what I mean? There's a lot at stake. But am I going to sit here and yell and scream and say the guy should be suspended or something like that? You want to be honest about it? The stupidest penalty was the Samoskevich taking the guy's helmet off. I mean, it was a perfectly normal play, and they just got a little bit tangled up. And when Samoskevich was just trying to get his arm back over the guy's helmet comes off, and they give him 2 minutes. That was stupid. Not on Samoskevich's part. It's just a stupid call. I don't know if it's an automatic if the guy's helmet comes off. I don't know. Somebody can tell me. All right. Going to go finish with Kyle. We're going to finish up the Toronto-Ottawa game, so this recap will be up a little bit late. I'm hoping that by the time this is up, you guys can tell me that Maurice said Barkov will be fine in the comments. Other than that, we will see you tomorrow night for Caps and Canadiens, and then back bright and early on Saturday, 1 o'clock for Panthers Lightning Game 3. Good stuff, Panthers. We're halfway. We're halfway. That's 2. You need 4, and then we need 16. And 16 is fine. Yeah, there you go. Barkov is fine.